Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this San Diego Riverside Charter School Governing Council meeting. I'll now call this meeting to order at 6:08 p.m. with a roll call. And David Toledo.
I'm here.
Okay, Patrick Segura,
Present.
Susan Baca,
Here.
Margie Krill, present. LaDonna Sando, not present. And Kiani Upshad Toya, not present. Okay, but we do have a quorum. We have established a quorum. So we'll go on to the next item on the agenda, which is opening activities. And we would like to vote on this agenda. If you see this agenda, it's up on the screen right now. I just need a motion in a second, and then everyone to agree on this agenda for tonight's meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Susan.
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda for the September 11th meeting for
Okay,
tonight.
Susan Baca made a motion to accept the agenda for this tonight's meeting. And do I have a second?
I second it.
David Toledo, second. So we'll go see. David, do you agree?
I agree.
And Susan, do you agree?
I agree.
Patrick, do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
And this is Margie. I agree. So motion passes unanimously. And so let me go ahead and go on to the next item on the agenda is for us to vote on the approval of the August 14th meeting minutes. So our last meeting was on August 14th, and the meeting minutes were sent out to us by Jensen. If you all got to look them over and take a look at them, I just need a motion in a second for everyone to agree on the meeting minutes.
Now, this is Patrick. I had the opportunity to read them earlier, and I make a motion to approve.
Okay, so Patrick made the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I second it.
David second it. So we'll go around the room. Susan, do you agree?
I agree.
Okay, David, do you agree?
I agree.
Patrick, do you agree?
I agree.
And this is Margie. I agree. So motion carries. And the next item on the agenda is public comment. Does anybody out there have a public comment? It's limited to 3 minutes per person if anyone would like to make a comment. Okay, no comment. There's only one comment that I would like to make because I would like to thank Jodan for working so hard on our new bus schedule and for the bus route. We were supposed to have the buses working on September the 8th. For the pick up the students, and the bus had a check engine light or something on it, and the bus went to the shop. He stayed with the Department of Ed and the bus, and they got it fixed on the 9th, and then the buses are going to run on the 10th, which was yesterday, but we had a tribal cultural day in the Pueblo, and the school got closed down yesterday for that reason. So and then the bus today took all the kids to the fair. So we haven't really got our route done, but we appreciate all your efforts and all your hard work, and I think that will help us bring students in. Jodan, thank you for doing that. Okay, and all the contracts that you're working on too, we appreciate it. That's my public comment. And anybody have anything else?
Thank you, Jodan, for all the hard work that you've done since you've been here. Thank you.
Yes, appreciate it. All right, the next item on the agenda is the Finance Committee report, and that is with Greg. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to Greg. Both Greg and Angie, our business managers, are on the line with us, but Greg is going to present and Angie's here for support. So thank you.
Thank you. I have sent the request to share my screen. Once that gets approved, I should be able to display it from here. And while that's in process, did anybody have any preliminary questions about it before I start presenting?
I do have one question, Greg. Do we have any bars to approve for tonight?
Yes, we do. I will introduce that very shortly.
Okay, I was just checking. Thank you.
Okay, I'll make this a little bit larger to see. Our one bar for tonight is a decreased bar for our Ed Fellows Fund 26107 from REC number 9. We have a decrease of $716. And what's going on is the MOU agreement that was set by the REC, which was slightly lower than budgeted. And so we are decreasing just from the pension line item associated with that fund.
When the decrease happens, we take it out of the Ed Fellows amount. Do we have to give the money back or something for some reason, or is it going to another line item? How's it going? Going to
It will
move?
be just a decrease. We would not be reverting money back to the REC. It'll probably be coded to operational for the Ed Fellow that we had on this particular fund.
Okay. That'll help. Thank you.
So for tonight, I have July and August prepared for you. I will go through these rather quickly as there's just some summer activities to cover. So beginning of the year, we have these projections here where we will have a little more usage within our food service fund, more more budget for our federal flow throughs and our local flow throughs. A bit of a change with our state flow throughs as well, as we have been applying for more state grants and we've gotten to land some federal flow through, like our impact aid has changed within its funding, and food service has also been a working development this year. And those funds are broken out down here underneath to supplement that. For all the revenue that we received so far, all of it pertains to reimbursements for prior year expenditures that we've gotten, save for our SEG, which we got for the month of July. Those will be covered in detail later on, but we did get some of these RFRs back. Food claims, reimbursement. And then a quick look at our fund balances, where they're beginning, where they're budgeted at. For the month of July for this year, we are almost in the middle of the average with the previous few years. Since this is the start of the school year with a new year turning, shouldn't expect a whole lot of activity aside from the bills to pay, service provisions, things of that nature. And spending per student, we'll have a determination of the exact cost per student coming in the future months. Since this July, a lot more of our expenses have gone towards administrative and central purposes. Most of them by object is still related to payroll and all, when we still have a majority of our expenses by function going towards class preparations, teacher salaries. And we're at a pretty good cash balance for the ending month of July, higher than the previous couple of years. Any questions? Anything you want me to zoom in for what we've covered so far? And if not, I'll continue. So we paid some checks. Next, we've got our usual benefits and payroll related items around here. We have our annual NIMSIA risk insurance payment for general liability insurance. This makes sure that all of our employees are covered for the year. We also have a reimbursement to Jodan, and we paid for some other equipment. New to the finance packet for this year, the check summary will be here. The account code and financial related details can be available upon provision. Since those tend to take up a lot of pages, that can be provided separately from the packet to break these into more minute detail. But also featuring a new item will be our expenditure balances on a fund by function basis. This will reduce the number of pages that is on this packet and other monthly packets. And specifically what I'm highlighting with these is where we're at on a fund by function level. The PED cares about having our fund and function levels being positive. And how it works is all these 21, 22, 2300 functions will roll up into a general 2000 function. So the sum of all these would determine where we're at in that basis. As we can see here, we'll need to do some budget cleanup. And for any other function sum ups like that, that will go along with maintenance throughout the year as we initiate bars and get other revenues coming in, and anything else that we need to make sure we're in good standing. And then some detail of all the contributions that we've gotten from this last month. So at this point, we have also received all the RFRs that we were expecting to get. Thereby, we've closed the fund balances on a lot of these, and we're in good standing. As we add more funds throughout the year for which we request reimbursements, we'll see their activities recorded in this column. And then our statement of revenues and expenditures. We're looking at a healthy fund balance for operational and other items as they come about. Some of this would also be reflected within the balance sheet reports. Finally, our bank reconciliation ties out to 0 variances between everything that we're expecting and that our general ledger is matching expectations. Yeah. So this about covers it for the month of July. I will go through August here shortly. And we can move both months in for board approval of expenditures later on. So for August, we do not have any bars to release. We only have just the one bar from July for our Ed Fellows Fund. It's a slight decrease. Part of what we're also featuring is the usage of these funds in the current month versus the previous month. Not a whole lot of changes around here as we pay our monthly bills, we get our employees paid. There's some slight changes, but we're doing what we need to examine these funds and their usage. We got our monthly SEG food claim, which I will go over shortly. And we've spent slightly higher than a sum of 2 months for this month of August, but we're still doing all right with our cash balance, as I'll show you shortly. just some slight changes as we expect to cover September in the future with more activity going on. We'll see some percentage changes here, but as is consistent, we want to give a lot of investment to our teachers and our students, our EAs and all of our instructional staff. Finally, operational fund cash liquidity is remaining at 2.68. Featured within this month's expenditure list will include a lot of our monthly things, few reimbursements for some professional development that's been done, reimbursement for Joe Dan, trip to the biopark, even Native Sun Plumbing, which had done some repair work for us earlier within the summer. Any questions about what I've covered for this month so far? Anything anybody wants me to expand on?
I just have one question. Was Jensen's check, was that his payroll?
Jensen's check here was a reimbursement for parking at this NOVA conference that they attended. Same with Melissa's.
Oh, they went to a conference. Okay. Oh, wait, I thought I saw. Okay, hold on 1 second. Oh, I see. I see. Oh, that's it. I thought, okay, never mind. I thought I saw Jensen getting paid $13.99, and I was like, he doesn't have direct deposit, but that was the charter school testing above hit. Okay, that's all right. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad. Do we pay them like if they have to drive to Albuquerque for a conference and they give you a receipt for $10 for parking, do we also pay them for mileage to get to Albuquerque from the school? Or do they just drive on their own?
Some employees live in a few different locations, including within Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and surrounding area. If by within school policy and with state of New Mexico DFA requirements that they live within a certain distance, if I'm not mistaken, that's where
Mhm.
mileage may kick in for getting travel reimbursements. If
I see.
I remember correctly, Jensen is somewhere within the metro within Rio Rancho.
I
The
see.
state rule is 50 miles, so
50?
it did 50, I believe, 50. So
Uh-huh.
it depends where they left from, and if some of them, because of where they live, if they go to a conference in Albuquerque, but they're coming from home, they don't, they're not eligible for the gas mileage.
Okay. I was just wondering about that because I know that before we used to pay for gas mileage all the time, but it was normally from people like who lived right there in the Pueblo. So,
Yeah.
but like he said, people live all over different places now. So,
So
okay.
if they were coming from the school, I believe it's more than 50 miles, but if they, most people don't want to drive all the way to school
Mhm.
at 7 a.m. only to turn around and go, now I'm going to go to Albuquerque for the conference. They just go
Yeah,
straight from their house. And if they're closer, then the mileage doesn't count.
that makes sense. Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Thank you for the question.
This isn't a question, but I just wanted to let Angie and Greg know. Okay, so I had alerted Angie, and I think she might have told you about the Native Sun Plumbing. They picked up a check from the school, and then a check got mailed to them, and they were going to take it back to the school and void it out. Did you all get that check back? The second
Oh,
So
check?
me and
I
Greg
got
were gonna, but I don't think they've only cashed one, not two. So we're fine right now.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
just want to make sure.
I was in contact with Greg and we shred the check that was returned to us. It was voided and we shred it.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure because that guy was really, Tim Toya was really concerned about it when he called me and he said, hey, I picked up a check and then I just got one in the mail, so I'm not sure what to do. And I told him just to void it and take it back to the school. So, and then I called Angie about it. So That's good. Thank you, guys. Anybody have any other questions on this, the bank checks or anything like that right now? Okay, go ahead, Greg.
Alrighty, so for revenues for this month, we've gotten, we have gotten some more of our revenues obtained. We got our monthly tax distribution. We should be fine with that. On the function level, overall, we will need to perform some maintenance within function 2000, so that'll be a work in progress. Same deal with function 1000 and some of these that I anticipate taken care of within bars in the future. May also have their negative balances decrease with some other encumbrances to release. So if I need to, for example, decrease a purchase order by X dollars for Y function, that can have an impact on these balances. As long as we're in a positive for fund and function, by the very end of the fiscal year, the PED will be fine with that, but we will perform routine maintenance on these throughout the quarters. And finally, a quick summary of the revenues and expenses between your funds and functions. And once again, our bank reconciliation ties out to a $0 variance. And our ending balance is $396,109.41 as of the end of August. This is the very last of the elongated finance packet. Are there any other points of questions I can answer regarding this?
No one has any questions, and we can go ahead and make a motion in a second and see if everybody agrees. First, we'll do the bar. Should we do the bar first, Greg? Should we accept the bar? Or should we
Yes.
do it all together? Okay. So the bar to decrease the fellow fund by $716. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve the bar.
Okay, Susan Baca made a motion to approve the bar. It is, do we say the number, Greg? I'm looking for the number of the bar.
There's bar number 3 here.
I don't see it. Oh, the ID number, the doc ID number?
Yes, it's 3D. It's the last two numbers is the bar number because the first part of the bar number is the school code.
Oh, I see.
And then 25, 26 is the school year.
Okay.
000 means we're a state charter.
Okay, I see. Maybe I have to decrease my screen here so I could see it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so 3D, it's the bar 3D that Susan made a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I second it.
David Toledo seconds. So we'll go around and see if everyone approves. Patrick, do you approve?
Yes, I approve.
Okay, and David, do you approve?
I approve.
Susan, do you approve?
I approve.
And this is Margie, I approve. So the bar passes. The next item that we need to approve is the finance report. So we could put them together. I need a motion in a second to approve July and August financial report and bank reconciliation and check disbursements for both months.
This is Patrick. I make a motion to approve.
Okay, Patrick makes motion to approve the financials, the bank reconciliations, cash disbursements, and all. Do I have a second?
I second
I
it.
second.
David seconded. So we'll see if I approve. Susan, do you approve?
Yes, I approve.
Yes. And David, do you approve?
Yes, I approve.
And Patrick, do you approve?
Yes, I approve.
And this is Margie, I approve. So motion carries for the financials for July and August and the bank reconciliation and the cash disbursements. All right, that's it with the finance committee report. Thank you, Greg, for all that. That was a long report because we didn't get it. The July, we had a table July last month. So, all right, anything else on that's all for the finance committee report, the business managers report, the bars, and also the next item on the agenda could be any action items. So we did the cash disbursements, we did the bars, we did the oh, so the next item would be approval of MOU contract for transportation services. Is that right, Jodan? Is that what you're showing for action items?
That is correct. So I have two things to go with this. This is a MOU that was developed between the Pueblo of Jemez Department of Education and San Diego Riverside Charter School. The effective date started last week, but however, that's just the initiation of the contract. Really, the services were supposed to start this week. There are a couple bumps in the road with this, but I'm still staying hopeful. But this kind of just lays out a couple things. I know Margie reviewed this when she came and visited last week, and there's still some questions I want to get clarified, but I think it's really in the school's best interest to make sure that we move forward with this. I'm not going to submit this officially to the Pueblo until I get my questions answered, which were, you know, and I'll just start with this. The big thing is there's a flat fee of 3,700, well, $3,710 for regular daily transportation services, and this is a monthly rate, monthly fee. Uh, I got to be honest, this is a heck of a lot cheaper than the transportation that we would have been purchasing through Herrera buses or even the school district. Um, but there's going to be an offset mainly because we're also cooking for them. So we're charging them for their food. And then she also sent me a MOU day before yesterday to also try to prorate some of our, how would I say, not prorate, but help supplement some of our cooks' salaries. So I think what this is going to end up doing is this is going to be a relatively equalizer, right? It's going to equal everything out between our food services and the bus services. We just want to make sure that the money's flowing in and flowing out, if that makes sense. And yeah, there's not much that I know we can negotiate other than wanting to find out if we get, you know, if we only have, like December is a good example. We only have 2 weeks of school. Are we going to get charged for the whole month, or are we going to get prorated at the 2 weeks, which we should be prorated? So these are the questions that I'm going to be asking Dr. Lisa whenever I speak with her tomorrow, so that we can make sure we come up with an agreement that's accurate so on that end. And then there's going to be an additional contract, a side contract, which I'm working on. That's going to be charging us for services for outside of the regular bus. This is regular busing. The other contract will be for field trips like we did today, which the rate is going to be $19 an hour, which is not bad at all. I mean, yeah, I I don't know anybody that's going to try give us that rate. And so I'm working on the contract that will be complementary to this, just a side deal for field trips. And so there's the payment terms. Again, Angie and Greg, I'll review this with you to make sure this looks accurate as well before I submit anything. And then we also, you know, the big thing is we do have a termination term. Either party may terminate this agreement within 30 or 60 days of written notice. So we have some flexibility there, and really to be again transparent. Everything from this is contingent on our food services. So at any point we feel that we're not getting a fair shake on our bus contract, it won't be just terminating this contract. It'll be terminating the food services for them. And I don't mean to be so blunt, but that's really what it is. Then there's the liability insurances, which both parties are going to maintain and comes through this. And then let's see here. These are the folks that still need to sign off on it. Margie has already signed. I have already signed. But again, tomorrow my goal is to meet with Dr. Lisa, get these questions answered. If I feel that we're in a good position, I feel that this contract can just get a quick resolution to it. We can accept this and then receive her acknowledgement or resolution and then vote that in on our next board meeting.
Yes, and the reason I went ahead and signed, there was, like we said, we do have to answer these questions, but the reason that I wanted to go ahead and sign is to get this started. It is because there is a clause in this contract that says we can add or change, the wording and all that on it. So that's why I went ahead and agreed to sign. Another item is that, like you said about, we pay them $3,700 to use the bus to pick up our kids. That $3,700 is for transportation to and from school for however many kids need to be picked up at the bus stops to bring them to our school. The extra contract was the $19 an hour, and we were going to ask, like, is it $19 an hour and then plus gas or whatever? So those kinds of things, and that's for the field trip. Or if we don't say anything about gas, we'll just think $19 an hour, that's it, we're done, we don't worry about it, or what? So those are the kinds of things we were concerned about. I got really upset, and Joe Dan got upset like that first day that we had already advertised and sent out letters and stuff to the parents that we're having transportation. We'll have bus pickup on Monday. And then they called us that morning or something, said the check engine light came on. And I told Joe Dan, you tell them that the check engine light just came on in the kitchen too, and we're not cooking their food. Yeah. So it just says we have to make sure to work together. But the thing about it is, and David knows because we've worked with the departments before, is that we just don't want to get stiffed by anybody, and we don't want them to take, advantage of us and then not provide services for us when we need them. So I just want to make sure all of that's covered in this contract, because we have been holding up our end and making very good meals for their students and making sure they get breakfast and lunch daily since school started. So I just want to make sure that they honor the contract when we need the bus for a field trip, or, the transportation to and from school for our students and all. So that's what's going on with this right now.
Yeah, I'll stand for any questions before you take that to vote. Yes, David.
Yes, I agree with both of you. We need to really pay attention to the contract that was initiated from Amos Education Department too as well. Because we were all there when we had a meeting and it sounded really good. So I would like for Amos Ed to deliver on what we had talked about and what we agreed on. So, and this will benefit the children of our school too. So we need to keep put our foot down, I guess, and just see where it goes and hold on to it.
Yeah, and just for more clarification on this figure, we were gonna go the route of counting how many students we have, which is typically how the state would do that, right? How many ridership that we have.
Yeah.
But in good faith from the Pueblo, they decided to just give us some flat fees that they felt were fair. And yeah, I definitely, like I said, working with the transportation over in Santa Fe at the school that I was at, this is one heck of a deal. Now I know the end of it, talking with Angie and Greg on whether we can supplement this. I think this would end up being mostly kind of an equalization out with the food services we're providing. And so, we don't really have the budget to sustain just this figure for the rest of the school year, but provided that we have those food services that we're also charging them for, and then they're charging us back for the bus services, it should be pretty relative.
Mhm.
It shouldn't be a too big of a strain, but I will make sure that I meet with Angie and Greg to just kind of review what the rest of this looks like for the school year.
Thank you. I appreciate you negotiating that rate with them. The thing about, like you said, it's a good rate and all, but the thing about the Department of Education is they are on the Pueblo, we're on the Pueblo, and yes, we thank them for working with us and all. They're not a business or a corporation like Herrera Buses or Jemez Valley School District that needs to pay their drivers and maintain their buses and all that. They're not running a business and making a profit and all. These are the buses that belong to the Pueblo of Jemez Department of Education, so they can actually really work with us on these numbers and actually probably give us even better numbers than this. There's one thing that I do want is I don't want it to be a wash like we pay you. I want to pay them all these fees in this contract, and I want them to pay us for the food services, okay? I don't want to say, oh, since you use the bus this time and you cook this time, I want to make sure that that money transfers, and it could be a wash, like you said at the end, but we will pay them and they will pay us. Is that
Yes,
right?
that's how
Okay.
this is all written. Yes.
Okay, good. That's all. I don't want them
And I
because,
think there's a way I'll work with, Greg and I will work with Joe Dan on just probably percentage of kids they have versus San Diego Riverside, and then that'll be the allotment amount of percentage for the food service employee salaries and benefits that should go towards them.
that's good. And we
That's
might,
like
and
the most fair way to do it.
hopefully we're gonna get more students because we found out we did lose for sure 5 kids for not riding the bus and possibly 10 for not having transportation. If we still have like 49 kids and we get like 59, 60, 69 kids because we have bus service, that's gonna help us sustain ourselves. And we have to try to get these kids by the 40th day, which I think Greg said was like October 2nd or something like that. So we don't have much time, but hopefully we'll get that many more kids enrolled between now and then.
Yeah, help us spread the word.
Yeah, that we have transportation now. Yeah, so, okay. All right, so I guess if nobody has anything else, we'll go ahead and call for a motion in a second to go ahead and accept this memorandum of understanding between us and the Department of Education, the Pueblo and Sangre Riverside Charter School for bus services, transportation services. Anyone can make a motion if you agree on this MOU.
I'll make a motion to accept the MOU between Jemez Department of Education and San Diego Riverside.
Okay, Susan Baca made a motion to accept this MOU for transportation. Do I have a second?
I second it.
David Toledo seconded, so I'll see if everyone agrees. Patrick, do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, and Susan, do you agree?
I agree.
And David, do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
And this is Margie, I agree. So motion carries, this MOU will pass, yeah.
Awesome.
Thank
And
you.
just so y'all know, I plan on either tomorrow or Monday, we're gonna go ahead and post on Facebook that, we officially do have transportation. And I want to outline that we're in an agreement with the Department of Education because kind of like what happened this week, it was kind of a bad look to our families that we said we were gonna provide bus services and then all of a sudden the bus wasn't up and running. And so I just want to make sure that we're trying to be as clear as possible that we are utilizing somebody else's services and that things like that are a little bit out of our control, right? I don't want to go as far as advertising that if this happens, then this is what we're
Yeah.
going to do.
Yeah,
That's just between all of us.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
Like you said, we have to do this in good faith, and by this MOU is a handshake saying we're both in good faith, and then whoever reneges, and that's on them,
yeah.
so.
I'm going to go ahead and reshare for the agenda. There's one on here. I know, Angie, I don't know if we should table this or we can approve this. I know Jensen was still trying to get this together, but we have to do an approval of the 24-25 school inventory. I can send that to you as soon as probably tomorrow, hopefully. Really, the school assets are the same. The only thing that we've really purchased since I've been there are the new heating and cooling units, the 2 units that we got when I arrived. And then there may be some new curriculum. Actually, no, I take that back. We did not really order. There's no, everything else would be digital stuff. And we don't, Angie, correct me, do we put on our inventory, do we put digital assets
No,
I don't think so.
like
like
IXL?
software,
Mhm.
Yeah.
no. This would just be straight physical inventory, so like the new heaters, yes. Well,
Okay.
actually, were the new heaters, I don't think the new heaters were over 5,000 each.
No, they were just on, they were
They'll
under
they'll
that.
still be put on the asset list because to inventory them because they're over 1,000, but they're not on the 5,000 and over asset.
That would be the capital assets where the Bosch heat pump did come in.
When is the next board meeting? Because to see like what if we could table it. Because you kind of
In
need
like
to see.
October 9th.
It'd be as soon as October 9th, but it could be even sooner depending on when we decide on when our retreat is, which we'll talk about in
Okay, the audit's just been going now, so they kind of need the approval of the inventory list. But you should show the sheet with the new items, so we should table it.
okay.
So that we can
So
see
maybe
the-
vote to table, and if we really need to, we might have to just call a special meeting to take care of that. But
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful that maybe we can go ahead and do a board retreat sometime right at that last weekend of September. And we can just knock everything out at that point, get our training, get this on the agenda, and have our board meeting at that time.
Yeah, we could have a finance report that just has the inventory list, since if September is not closed yet, we can't reconcile the books, but we could have the inventory list.
Okay, I'll work with Jensen to get those. So I guess it's up to the board. I mean, obviously we're kind of stumped, but we'll probably have to table this.
So we need a motion to table this agenda inventory until our next meeting, whether it's the regular scheduled meeting or a special meeting.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so I just need a motion to table the 2025 2024-2025 school inventory list.
This is
I'll
Patrick.
make
I'm
a
making
motion.
to table the 24-25 school inventory list.
Okay, Patrick made a motion to table the school inventory list for 2024-2025. Do I have a second? Is that you, Susan?
I'll second. Yes.
Susan seconded. So I have to see if everyone agrees. David, do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Patrick, do you agree?
I agree.
Susan, do you agree?
I agree.
Yes, and this is Margie. I agree. So motion carried. Inventory, school inventory tabled for now. To our
Awesome. And
next
then
board meeting.
the next one is regarding the expansion off the books. From my understanding, there was some discussion of doing some form of a school expansion in the last few years, and that was still on the books. But I know Angie and Greg could probably
So
explain that better than
the
I can.
auditors said in about the year 2020, there was some studies done that we paid for and we put it on the books as possible expansion, but then nothing ever happened from it. And the auditors were asking us to take it off the books because when you do construction or expansion, you don't depreciate till it's fully done and it's an asset. So it's just kind of stalling, waiting there right now. And because it's so old, we didn't think that even if we were going to expand, we were going to have to do another study. So it should be taken off the books because that amount won't be added to any actual expansion if it does happen. And it was
Okay.
just paying a company to look
Yeah.
and see if I think we could combine certain schools together. And it happened quite a long time ago.
It was prior to COVID, and it was Steve McNamara was a construction person with Connie Dove, and we actually were going to get like a new school. We got plans. We paid for plans from the architect already and all that. But I'm telling you, that was before COVID. So you're right. That was not even 2020. I'm saying it was
Yeah.
even 2018 possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
They did say that from what they could tell, they thought it was right around COVID or right before.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
they just wanted the board to approve that it was okay to take it off the books. I mean, there's nothing,
Oh, yeah,
it's just
for
sitting
sure.
there saying like, we're going to expand and this is the cost we're going to add if we expand.
Yeah.
But even if we were going to expand, you're going to need another study done. Like you can't,
Exactly.
that's so old, we can't use it anymore.
Exactly. We do need to take it off. This is the first that I've ever heard that it was still on the books from all that time. So thanks for letting us know. But yes, we don't have anything or any finances right now to do an expansion. So we do need to take it off the books until we're ready to do one. Yes. So I'll take it a motion and a
Yeah.
second for approval to remove expansion off of the auditor's books. Our school is not expanding at this time.
I make a motion to take the plans for expansion from the auditor's books.
Okay, David Toledo made the motion. Do I have a second?
This is Patrick, I second.
Patrick second, so we will have the auditors take the expansion information off of the auditor's books. So I have to see if everyone agrees. Susan, do you agree?
I agree.
Patrick, do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, David, do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
And this is Margie, I agree. So motion carries. You can let them know they can take it
Okay.
off. It's been voted in. Yes, thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda, Jodan, is for the approval of what was it?
Open meetings act.
Oh, yeah, what is that about? Why would we have to approve that? Because that's a given, right?
Yeah, they just recommended that we approve that. I don't think it's something we really had to do, but I just put it on for safeguard.
The auditors
Um,
want you to approve it every year.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and part of it too is we have to upload it in Epicenter for reporting, and so it was just like more of a good faith showing that the board didn't make any changes, which we didn't. But I think it's just a good practice to always vote it in every single year, and if there's anything that needs to be changed, then you have the option to do that, and again, take it in front of the board. And so I'm going to go ahead and share a different screen here. This is the same OMA statement that was provided. To be honest with you, we don't even need all this. This is all our attorney jargon that we had put together last year, which is fine. We can approve this. They just want to know, and we have this posted. San Diego Riverside Charter School meets on the second Thursday of every month at 6 o'clock, type of a thing. And so
Mhm.
this is just all the technical jargon that would go with it. But anyhow, yeah, we just need to, again, in good faith, approve it.
So that's what I don't even know how we would say that. Like, so we need a motion in a second to approve the Opens Meeting Act for our school because it's like a law to have the Opens Meeting Act. So is
Yeah,
it,
for
how would you
25,
say it?
26.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say make a motion to approve the Open Meetings Act resolution for the school year 25, 26.
Okay. So do I have a motion in a second to approve the Open Meetings Act resolution for the school year 2025, 2026?
Yeah, this is Patrick. I make a motion to approve the Open Meetings Act resolution for school year 25, 26.
Okay, Patrick, I made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Susan Baca seconded, so we will approve the open meeting at resolution for the 25, 26 school year. David, do you agree?
I agree.
Susan, do you agree?
I agree.
Patrick, do you agree?
I agree.
And this is Margie, I agree. So Opens Meeting Act resolution for the school year has passed. You can let the auditors know about that also. And the next item on the agenda is approval of bylaws. Do we have to go over them to approve them, or how would we do that, Jodan? I think you're on mute. Are you
Sorry.
on mute?
Sorry,
Oh,
I'm going back and forth sharing and unmuting and
oh, okay.
these are the bylaws that we already went over at our last retreat.
Mhm.
It's good, again, just good faith, making sure there's no changes to these with the exception of the resolution. Um, and I have to place it under the right section, but I'll get to that resolution in a bit. So that right here, it's going to go under the membership because there's a certain term that the state required all of us to have in. We kind of had it separate, but it's going to be incorporated on this. The nice thing is what I would recommend is again vote this in as is, and then when we get to our mentor training and our retreat. We'll
Right, yeah.
review this more thoroughly, and then we can make any resolutions to this. And then, again, the first portion of our retreat will be going over policies, procedures, and things like this. And then we'll have our board meeting where we can go ahead and put that in front and vote so that we can make sure. So this will probably be on the next agenda with our retreat. Even if there's nothing that changes, we'll just say that we're going to vote on it again to approve it because this is pretty fairly important. The resolution on this, let me see if I can get this really quickly. The resolution is regarding the number of board members. There we go. Let me get this back up here. This would be the newest component to this. And so this is just again discussing in the event that board membership drops below 5 members, but it still has at least 3 members within 30 days of dropping below 5 members, the remaining governing board members shall select a candidate for the governing board and then vote them in as a member at meeting called pursuant to the Open Meetings Act. In the event the governing board membership drops below 3 members, including the situation where the governing board membership is 0 members, within 10 days of dropping below 3 members, the head of school shall develop a process. So that's that would be my job, a process to identify candidates for the governing board, which may include current or former governing board members, faculty, parents, or partner organizations within the 10 days after the governing board membership drops below 3 members. The head of school shall post a meeting pursuant to the Open Meetings Act where the candidates shall elect themselves in the same manner as when the school was initially chartered. Just so you know, the reason why this came about, and Angie, you probably know a little bit. I think it was Six Directions Charter School, where their entire board ended
Alma
up.
also
Uh,
did it.
yes, there you go.
I was the business manager when they all resigned.
Yeah,
K-12 had them.
they all resigned from the board. They're actually making a movie. Is it them that they're making the movie on right now?
Oh, I
Or
don't
Six?
know.
I think it's
It
Six
could be
Directions.
because they're located in Las Cruces and they do fine arts, which includes film.
Well, I know they picked up the script. Just a little side note for you guys,
Oh,
because
okay.
the kids themselves were not very happy with things that were happening. So they actually pushed for the board to resign. The students did.
Oh,
And yeah, it's a pretty remarkable story. And then they went up themselves because they were ready to close the charter school down, from what I understand. And the kids went out themselves and recruited board members and pieced everything back together. And so, yeah, there's a
I
movie
don't
being
think
made.
that's Alma then, because this did happen and PC didn't know what to do, and that's why they want you to
Mhm.
have it in there now.
So this is a result of that incident. So yeah, again, in good faith, this is just making sure that we approve the bylaws, and we'll probably be going to do a deep review of this at our retreat.
Okay, great. So I just need a motion and a second to approve the bylaws as they are right now. And if we do go to retreat and change them, then we can approve them again after they've changed. But right now, they're the same bylaws that we've had since our last retreat, which was last February. So February 1st, 2025, these are the same bylaws that we made up, that we instilled. So do I have a motion and a second to accept these bylaws for approval?
I'll make a
Anyone?
motion to accept the bylaws for approval.
Okay, Susan Baca made a motion to accept the bylaws for approval. Do I have a second?
I second it.
David second. So I have to see if everyone approves. Patrick, do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, and David, do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Susan, do you agree?
I agree.
And this is Margie. I agree. So bylaws, motion carried. We accept the bylaws.
Awesome, thank you. I can proceed, and I just wanted to bring this up. See, I have to upload everything in Epicenter. So now that they're approved, I get to go in, and they are due by the first. So you're giving me the opportunity to make sure we stay in compliance with what they're requesting. Again, you can still change those even if we decide on having that retreat somewhere later in October. We still have the opportunity to review those, but at least they have what we have right now. All right. So Margie, am I okay to move into the next item?
Yes, and if we're finished with all the approvals and action items, and we'll go on to the next item on the list on the agenda, which is the executive director principals report. So go ahead.
All right, let me pull that up next. Okay, so I think I captured everything. And I'll explain why it's important for us to get the school issued emails up and going, because I want you to be able to have everything live and access everything. And I think we talked about it the last meeting, but I'll just give a reminder there. So Our first week of school, we're off to a great start, but we just need more students. We did create a flyer. Margie, I think I sent you the second draft. If you give me the thumbs up, I think you're good to go. And if we can get the W-9 from that individual, I believe you said that was David's sister.
Yeah, David, your sister gave us a quote to send out flyers for open enrollment for school. And so we want to like promote our school out and they will go into all the residential mailboxes in and around Hamas Valley. So
That sounds good.
Yeah, and I know Angie, just a heads up, the quote was, gosh, was it like three?
$490 or something
Yeah,
like
as I
that.
say, it's like $400 for advertising. They're gonna send
Yeah.
all those flyers. I think we can probably swing that, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Because
cool.
Jodan said, I don't know if we can do this because printing and delivery and all that costs thousands of dollars. And then Charlotte gave us that quote. And you're like, yes, we can do it.
Yeah,
So
my
Yeah, that's a
my
pretty
eyes
good deal.
popped out when I was with La Resolana. We did flyers like that, and I think for like 3,000 flyers, they charged us like $1 or $1.50 for each flyer. And that was like 7 or 8 years ago, maybe even more. So yeah,
so
that was awesome.
I knew Charlotte would help us. Yeah. So thank you,
Yeah,
Charlotte.
so Angie would just need her W-9, right?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll
yeah,
let her I'll let her
yeah.
know.
Margie, I'll kind of tap you if that's okay to just kind of
It's
help
just
me
a
work
form
on
that
getting
has
that
her
done.
social. She can be a vendor using her social.
Okay,
Okay.
she's a business, so she probably has a number. Yeah. She
Yeah.
has a whole
I'll
If you
tell
don't
her.
have a number, you can use your social, but some of them have a number.
Okay.
Either
I'll go
or
ahead.
works.
I'll go ahead and tell her to raise her price.
after us, after we use her. Yeah.
That's good.
After
Yeah. And then Margie, I think I did send you, I think this morning or last night I sent you the
Okay, I
second
didn't
draft with
see
your
it yet,
request.
but I might want to put one more thing on there because I think it needs to go on there as governor's mansion field trips like that. Because this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah. The hard thing is I mean it is, but I think we need to be as general, but I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it, right? Because
Just
if we
field,
start
I guess we just
labeling,
put field trips, yeah. Like
yeah, because
state fair
my
field trip, this field trip, whatever, yeah.
like
So
I think if my big fear is if we start banking that we're going to take a specific field trip and God forbid something doesn't occur, then
yeah.
that's, I hate to make promises that I can't keep, but letting them know that we have field trips, we have extracurricular activities. That was the same thing with sports. We were debating whether
Yeah.
we should
Sports.
list all the sports, but then it was
Yeah,
like, well, with everything's contingent on how many students we have, right? And so
exactly.
we wanted to have volleyball, but at the same time, we didn't have enough girls to play volleyball.
Yeah,
So
so it's cross country and basketball, but something could happen with that. So we just put
yeah,
collegiate director for sport, athletic director for sports, and what field trips
yeah,
and
yeah.
after school program, transportation services, that those kind of generic things on this flyer that we're going to put in everybody's mailbox. So
Yeah, so if you want to just give me the thumbs up, like I said, tomorrow, if there's any last additions, we'll add that, and then if you could get that over to her and just get our W-9, and we can start getting those out as quickly as possible.
yes,
Cool,
yes,
cool. So
especially
yep, we got the next one there, the Governor's Mansion field trip. That's gonna be held in mid-October. I gotta remember here. I believe they said the date was going to be the 23rd. I'll go back and look at that. But we are gonna ride the rail runner, so we'll probably have our bus services from the Pueblo take us to the rail runner. It's not really worth it to take the bus all the way to Santa Fe, mainly because they're not allowing people to drive into the governor's mansion. They want us to meet right where the rail runner is because they're going to be shuttling students to the governor's mansion. So I figured, this was their recommendation as well. Let's have some fun. I've never rode the rail runner. A lot of students said they never did either. And so this will be a great adventure for us to take. I'm hoping I can be on this field trip. Again, typically the principal and executive director don't go on field trips. I'm excited to be with a school that supports that.
oh,
The
you
three
have to go
years.
with this. And we're going too, aren't don't you guys want to go to the governor's mansion? So the school board wants to go too. So,
Yeah, sure. No, no, I get it. It just depends on if they schedule like today. I wanted to be at the state fair, but I had three back-to-back mandatory meetings. Just so you know, little side note, that 2 o'clock meeting I was in was for NM dash because we have to do a 90-day plan. If we don't get a 90-day plan, it could affect our accreditation going into next school year. That's a new
Oh,
thing
no.
that they put in place. And so the reason why I had to attend that is because those that were in attendance, they gave us an extension for a little over a week to get this done, and I really needed that extension. So, like I said, it's just tough to make sure that I'm balancing my duties as director and principal. I definitely want to have fun.
And I think that was the report that the past principal never did, and
That's what I was
Mr.
gonna-
Lovato had to actually do when he got on like in November. So
Yeah,
it's
finish
it's
the
really
night.
important.
That's what
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Well, the other principal went on all the field trips with us. Why can't you come on all the field trips with us? Yeah. So
He also didn't get his, not to be mean, he also didn't get his
I
job.
we were getting in trouble last year because we couldn't get it completed, but I think Joe Dan was the one that actually completed it like in November.
thank
I
you.
think there were 12 items when I got there that were out of compliance. So
Yeah,
I
there was
knocked
no way
10 of
I could
them.
do it because it's like principal stuff that I just don't know how to do that part.
So I'm hoping to be there, like I said, and I'd hate to be. This is what I was going to do today was post up where the mechanical bull was, but my service was spotty, and I thought, okay, I just got to go and focus and get this stuff done, and be a big boy. So, but I appreciate the
Keeping the
support from the
school
board.
compliant and doing great things, getting us out all a bunch of grants. So he
Thanks,
just doesn't get to do the
Angie.
fun stuff anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it done ahead of time so that I can go and do everything else.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm looking forward to this though. This opportunity is going to be great for our kiddos. It's a fall festival, and I think it's going to be fantastic. And so that leads us to the New Mexico State Fair. We didn't plan, we did. Today was our fair trip, and it sounded like everything went really well. What was nice was, they were upset a little bit because some folks were walking in with not the group. That was a requirement. But luckily, I know a lot of folks there at the fairgrounds, and so does Brandy's family. So when they saw us, Margie was there when we walked in. Or no, Margie, or sorry, Lynette
I
and
was Lynette and Rachel, and they were like waiting for me because I had tickets to get them in, and then they're like, "We're already in." Joe Dan said, "These are my chaperones," and they just let us in. We're like, "That's good."
those were some great people running the door, and the lady that was actually running the whole school program was there taking names. And
Oh,
ironically,
Susan, is that Susan? Yeah,
no, that was, oh my goodness,
Lisa,
Lisa. Yeah,
Lisa, yeah.
yeah, so Lisa Gomez, I believe. So
Mhm.
she used to run the Queen contestant stuff, and yeah, she worked with my father-in-law pretty closely as I think you guys know Brandy's sister was the State Fair Queen back in 2004. So
Yes.
it helps to have. I know I literally was joking with people and saying, "Yeah, I'm related to royalty, so you have to let me."
Let me in, yeah. And he
But
goes,
no,
"Yeah, Joe Dan says we just walked right behind him and we got in." So I'm like,
they're
okay.
good folks and they didn't give us a hassle. So makes things easy. But the field trip went really well, and I'm again looking forward to giving more opportunities to our kiddos. So out of school time programming, that was the big meeting that I had while I was trying to get everybody in. I just there's not much to say other than I'm gonna have to change some programming. It's gonna be for the benefit of the kiddos. Nothing's gonna be taken away. We just want to make sure that the right opportunities are provided. It's going to be a heavy lift because we have to do the easy reports and it's a new dashboard. I'm not familiar with it. And if it's any indicator that an hour and a half of going over how you report stuff is going to be how the rest of this program runs, it's going to be a big lift. That's all I'm going to say. And so I'll keep the board informed as we move forward with out of school time programming. I'm really hoping to start next week. It just depends on where everybody is at. At the latest, we will start on the 22nd, which kind of leads us into the next one, the math and reading programs, which are two separate. So think of this on the right hand, we have OST, which is out of school time programming, which we originally wrote for an after school program for arts, sports, leadership, another math, another reading, and then a STEM, which I'm going to change around. And then on the other hand, they gave us the opportunity to continue the after school reading or the summer reading program, as well as bring in a math program. So essentially, the math program is going to be targeted for sixth and seventh graders. It's going to be in school and it's going to be during a block of intervention, and they're going to have a 1 to 4 ratio teacher to student tutoring session. And the same thing will be happening with the reading program, although that will be after school, and our targets will be third through eighth grade. They originally only wanted third through fifth, but because we're so small, they're going to allow us to target all of our third through eighth graders. So we're going to come up with a small cohort. We don't want to offer this to everybody. We want to be specific with how we're going to get these targets because we really need the data this year going into our contract. So I don't know if we really talked about this too much. This is something I was going to say for the board retreat, but the data that we get this year, this is the data we are going to use for our
It
recharter.
drives, yeah, it drives our next charter renewal, right?
So this is, even though we're rechartering in 2027, this is
Mhm.
the year that we really need to show our data. This is what we're going to utilize yeah, for that recharter. So
And the
these are
data that we need to show is approval, like that they've gained knowledge in math and reading and science and
yes,
things like that.
all
So
growth, all growth. We're
all
not going to
growth, only
focus too
growth,
much
yeah.
on proficiency. They're going to ding us, but let's just face it, 80% of the state is nowhere near proficiency. We need to make sure that we're showing them that we can grow our students, and it can't just be 1 year worth of growth. We have to show between 1.5 to 2 years on the low end.
Huge. I think with this program, we're gonna have huge growth because the one-on-ones is really gonna help, like
Yeah.
1-to-4 ratio or whatever. And that's exactly what we need, but
I know some of the
what can
staff
we
is
do?
really concerned with kind of saying now we have too many opportunities, but really what our story needs to be going in front of the Public Education Commission is that in the worst case scenario, our students don't meet growth, we get to turn to them and say, we've done everything. We've done everything we can. We have before and after school programming. We have remediation. I'm confident that we're going to see growth, but in the event that we don't see it as much as we would hope for, that would be our story to the PEC, which is we've thrown the kitchen sink at them, and we just at this point we're at a loss, right? Like, what do we do? Where can we get help from? But I'm not too concerned that we're going to be in that position. I think these are great opportunities that are going to give us yield some good results for us.
And
Um,
remember our reading growth, if we have like a good reading program that I told them that we could go to the isotopes and let them know that we have great reading program and all these students like excelled in reading, so they get to go out on the field and stuff like that. They have things like that happening, so.
Yeah, yeah. We definitely will focus on rewards, and we're already collecting our Mustang money, but we'll up the ante as we start to get to our middle of the year and end of the year data points, which are really going to be crucial. Tribal consultations. I'll need some support on this. I intend on emailing again either tomorrow or Monday out to the governor, David and Margie. I'll make sure that you both are in those emails. But we are required to do tribal consultation, and we should probably try to meet with the governors if they are able to, monthly. The nice thing is if I can, let's just say we're not able to meet because of something that they have on their calendar. As long as I can prove to the Indian Education Bureau that we are reaching out and we're making a valiant effort to meet and do our consultation, that won't be held against us. So
And
just
I
want to make sure you know
contacted, I told Joe Dan that our second lieutenant governor is governor of the students and all, and I contacted Matthew Gotchpin, who that is, and he told me he'd call me back, like, and this was on Tuesday, and I hadn't heard from him yet, so I'll have to, call him back again and let him know that I would like to, even if we just met with him, if he came to the school and we had a short meeting with him, Joe Dan,
that.
that would serve as that consultation also.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we can sign off on that pretty quickly.
David?
Yeah, well, the way I see it is, the governor's office is, they can put a meeting down on their calendar. They only have 3 months to go, so it'd be good to go up there every month from now till December.
Yes.
That's what I think.
I'm pretty sure they can schedule us in.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
you're gonna have to help us too, because every time that I try to call over there or something too, we don't get anything, so.
I think the meeting that occurred in August about transportation between us two, that counts as a form of consultation through the Department of Education. So we've got one for August. Now, like you said, if we could do one for September, October, November, and December, I think we can really get some check marks off. And it's not just about the check marks, it's about making sure that we understand that we have support and letting them know some of our needs, right?
Right, and letting them know what's going on. Like our school took a field trip and we want to meet in September because we want to let you know what's going on. We got invited to the governor's mansion. I mean, these are things that the governor's office needs to know about, you know. The tribal governor needs to know we're going to the New Mexico State governor's mansion, things like that, you
Yeah.
know. So,
Some good things are happening at the school and they need to be
yeah.
aware of it. So that way they
Yes.
can
Maybe we need
support
to
our
take them to
school.
the governor's mansion.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what's going to be my next thing is like, can you say like when we meet in September to say you guys should plan to go with us, kind of like that, get our in with them there, right?
That'd be a great idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
need to tell them in September. So we'll get a meeting before the September 30th with them, even if it's with Second Lieutenant Matthew Gotchman, and then that will, like you said, do the August, September, and then when they go to the governor's mansion with us, that could be the October one, you know, something like
Yeah.
that. So we have to be
Perfect.
creative with it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. So yeah, let's I know I said that the last few weeks, but I just got tied down with the compliance stuff, but now it's time to switch gears, start focusing on this stuff. We're looking still for more family engagement opportunities. We're going to be talking tomorrow on our staff development about when we can start planning out our math science nights. We'd like to have math and science night at least once this year and then one in the spring. Same thing with literacy nights, once in the one now in the kind of fall winter and then one in the springtime. A movie night, we'll plan out what that looks like. I'm thinking maybe we start looking somewhere October or November, and then a family under the stars night where we're just again, this is all contingent on making sure that all staff understands that this is out of school time hours, and we have to make sure that we can make that. So this is a larger discussion for the staff to ensure that we have plenty of support.
Yeah.
Um,
Because you know people that can bring out telescopes and things like that, and we'd be looking at the stars with that family under the stars with the telescopes and all that. So we might
yeah.
want to pick a day when we're having a full moon or something like that. Like you said, there was a meteor shower on your birthday and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And we have a brand new telescope that nobody opened up that I'm looking
Yep.
forward to using. So even if we couldn't get those folks, we can set up our own family night, have hot chocolate and donuts and coffee, and just bring everybody in, to build some of that community for us.
Mhm.
So our new services, just wanted to keep you up to date here. Charter school nursing is 95% complete with vision and hearing tests for students. That hadn't been done for the last year or two, from my understanding
Oh,
and from the records.
years, yes.
And so yeah, we're really happy to be in compliance with the health department and their requirements. We're doing a Mira testing. That's something that's new. That's only for kindergarten, first and second. That's a mandate for the state, and they're paying for that. I decided to pull us out for third grade testing because we would have had to pay for that. And I just feel like our students are being over tested. This isn't something that's going to be held against us with the PEC or any data that we want to report. It's more like a bonus type of a thing. I get why they're doing it because it's going to be how they're going to try to track some of our younger students with math and reading. But our contract specifically says NWEA. So I want to make sure that we're focused on not spending more time than we need to on more assessments. I want to spend more time in the classroom getting our kiddos ready for the ones that really, really matter to us. And that goes into our short cycle assessment, our NWEA. So we started that this week, our first round, and we're pretty much done. We did science for most of the students on Monday. We did the littles, kindergarten, and first grade, I believe, for reading. But the next day was upper grades for reading, and then the last one was math. And so we got a baseline that we're working with. We have a couple of retakes we got to do next week, but we'll consider our first round of short cycle assessment in the books. This one, so the board knows, keep in mind. This is the one they were supposed to do last year prior to my arrival, but a certain employee that was with the school coming from the charter high decided she was going to do her own test, and this is why the Public Education Commission was so upset because they went against what our contract stated we were going to be doing. This is not on the backs of the board. This is not on the backs of the staff, other than that one staff member. But we're realigned, and I'm excited to see what a full year worth of data looks like. Let's
Wow.
see here. Yeah, sorry, Margie, did you have?
No, I was like, wow, that's good to know that we're getting back in compliance.
We're getting back. I think they'll be at least happy that we're back on track with what we said we were going to do. Um, we have sports cross-country schedules. They're posted to the school's website now. So go ahead and go and check them out. We've got a couple track meets this weekend. We've split them up. We have a lot of runners. I gotta say, we have a lot of runners. I'm very, very impressed. I know we've had some parents reach out and ask if students can join in halfway or late. We're not going to accept any students, and again, I want to make sure the board knows why. There's certain compliances we have to have with NMAA. If a student transfers from another school like the Valley, they're already registered as an athlete technically, so we can put them on the team. But we don't accept anybody late because we're trying to make sure that we stay in good standing and stay accredited with the NMAA. And so that's kind of the things. And Angie, I might reach out to you guys tomorrow. Sorry, now that I'm thinking about this, I think Greg already hopped off, right? Um,
He had to go, but I told him I would let you guys know.
we
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 didn't
have a
want to.
track meet this weekend and we have to initiate that's the $100 fee that we have to pay for all these track meets.
Okay.
So I'll get with Luis because I don't think they sent him the invoice, so I might have to expedite something tomorrow.
Yeah. If they could email me and Greg the invoice, we could get it cut, but I bet you we're missing the invoice.
Yeah, I'll get with Luis first thing. I know we had to do that last week for that same thing, but let me see. I'll be in contact with y'all in the morning so we can get that done.
Yeah,
Um,
we can do that.
we want to do a big thank you to Lionel and EPI for providing backpacks full of supplies for our students. I think that was awesome. I'm going to be working with John Toya to see if they can do some form of an art project, thank you card, something that just so shows our gratitude and our appreciation for
I would
them.
like that because they've sent it. This is like the third year they've in a row they've sent to us, and I don't think we've ever thanked them properly.
Yes, and we wanted to be thoughtful. I don't want just a card that's signed. I know it's still great sentiment, but I'd really like to represent our school. And so if there's some kind of an art project or some way that we want, we can award them. I know at the end of the school year, I started giving the awards for certain folks in the community that help our school. And definitely these folks are going to receive something from our school. So we'll invite them out to our school picnic next year. Student recruitment, we already talked about that. We've got our flyers coming down the pipe, and then we're gonna try to look at an open house. I'd really like to pull
I
one
need
off. I'd really like to
by
try
the
to
end of
pull
the
one.
month, right? I would like to
Yeah,
have one by the end of the month. Me, yeah, we need to. Yeah,
yeah.
for
So
sure.
I'm gonna be working on that to see when the best time is because I know this is kind of a busy month going into October
And
on
those
my.
new emails, would that be issued by the school where the school controls them? If someone leaves the board, they could get into that email?
Was that? I'm sorry, Angie.
If someone from the board left, they would be able to get into that email?
Um,
Like IT, like Jensen. Because I know one of the hard things we had when
oh, for the
Oh, I know.
Gmail.
Oh, your Gmails. Yeah. Okay.
oh,
I
I'm
see you're,
sorry, I thought
you're
you were on
down
the
on
Gmails.
your new emails for the board. Yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah.
Oh, I thought I heard you talk about that. Sorry.
Sorry,
I
I thought well when I thought you were talking about like recruitment for the board, which would be a good idea
Yes.
for open house, right? Bringing folks
Yes,
in.
yes. And
And
PTO, we need a brand new PTO. We've had this dang PTO, the 5 people since 2019. We're supposed to change every year. I want a brand new PTO, fresh, 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 because they need to start doing fundraisers and all for Christmas, like gift cards and stuff for the students, because they didn't have one last year. So,
Is
and
no.
they
is
can't
your
give gift
PTO
cards.
sanctioned by New Mexico
Well, whatever. They give
PTO?
like a bag of candy and things
No,
like
it's
that.
it's not. It's an in-house one which we
Okay.
discussed last year towards the end. Intentions are well. They bought a bunch of stuff but there's no financial oversight and I think it's just
Yeah.
a big issue. So that is our goal is to go with the New Mexico PTO and get them
I
registered. It's
think
like a
it's New
$5
Mexico PTA.
or PTA.
I could get a contact for you because I'm actually the PTA president of my kid's school.
That's
Oh,
cool
okay.
because then we would know how that works. Yes, exactly.
Let
Yes,
Right.
me I
Yeah.
because
think I have the
they
contact from Turquoise Trail because I had to serve on that
oh, okay.
as
I could
principal.
probably I could ask my PTA liaison um and forward you her email about setting one up.
Yeah,
But
that'd
yeah,
be
there's
awesome.
certain regulations, and I think one of them is they have to have at least 15 members. but staff can be members.
Yeah.
I know at my kids' school, we definitely didn't have 15 like parents for a while, but when staff also go in and pay the fee, we did. So I believe you have to have at least 15 members to start up a PTA.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, if you could put that into contact, because that's something that I
Yeah,
think we desperately need. And it's like a $5 membership or something like that, if I
I think
remember.
it's $8 per person or 15 per household for two.
Okay, awesome.
It's pretty cheap. I can get to the contact because the rep that we have for my kids' school, her kids go to the school, so I have her contact. I can reach out to her.
Okay, awesome. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Let's see here. The next thing that I put on here was the lease agreement. We did have that signed off. I'm gonna make this fairly quick because I feel like this lease agreement, we might want to spend a little bit of time on this when we go into our retreat. But I
Mhm.
know me and Margie talked about this earlier in the week, and I want to bring some things up to the board within this. Let me just give me a second. I'm gonna pull this up, but I'm gonna go ahead and start talking through this.
But let
Um,
me just, while you're pulling that up, let me just reiterate to the people from the Pueblo and Patrick who know about. Okay, so you guys, so we have this immersion school next door to us, right? He's going to get the lease agreement really quick, but for the first time that I've ever seen, guess what TJ Loretto, our realty person for the Pueblo, did? They put the immersion school in our lease, you guys. I've
Oh
never
yeah,
seen
have
that
them take it
before.
off.
Yeah,
We're not. I don't
that's
think they're
another reason
accredited
why I
either.
was
So
calling the governor's office about, because I think because David, I mean, TJ Loretto and maybe the Department of Education are pretty close, but they ended up putting the immersion school some way they fit it into our lease agreement. So
Is that a new one?
it's a every year we get a brand new lease, right? Because
Yeah.
we used to get like 5-year leases from them and then went to
Yeah.
3-year leases. Now it's year by year. That's what Joe Dan got, an annual lease, right? And he's going to ask them, the realty office, if we can at least just get a lease for the length of our charter. You know how we have to go for charter renewal
Yeah.
every 5 years? Well, the next time we go up for charter renewal, can we get a 5-year lease, like that? So
I'm gonna sum this up as quickly as possible. What ended up happening is we started having these talks. Angie was also part of this, right? Helping to guide me. And we were working with TJ Loretto, and I mean, he's a nice guy. I don't know him like you guys know him, but we had some great discussions. Somewhere in between April and May, he sent out an email to us. We never received the email.
mhm.
And I called Angie and I said, he's saying that, Angie actually called me
it
and
went
said,
to
hey,
both of
he's
our
looking for this,
spam
but
for
it's
some
delayed.
reason.
We looked for I looked through my spam. I looked through everything. I could not find it. Now, he obviously did send it out because he had the receipts for it. But there
Yeah.
is some interesting things because from my understanding, Margie, you told me that he was running around telling everybody that he would have granted us a
Yeah.
5-year lease.
I got word that's how this that he said that he would have granted us a longer lease, but because the principal was late in turning in the paperwork, he only gave us an annual lease.
And
That's
so
exactly what he told a tribal member who came to me and told me that. So
So some of this is true, but some of this is very, very contradicting. I'm gonna go ahead and poke holes through this, okay?
mhm.
What's interesting about this is yes, he did send that out. I do have the email, but he didn't mention anything about a 5-year lease. There's no explicit information. He just said that it would be similar to Walatoa, and Walatoa Charter has a 5-year lease, but there's no explicit in his email or any letters stating that he would like to provide us with a 5-year lease, okay? Now, we did have to get things in late, and what I requested was a lease extension for the year, which is what this is essentially, so that we can ensure that we have that in for our lease reimbursement. And Angie worked with me to make sure that we got that in right on time, which
Yeah.
we I think we did, right? They allowed it us, or we won't find out yet.
Um, we still need the new one, but we gave him the old one. But I think what might have happened was I know that Joe Dan and I were working with him and we were on a very short deadline of we were not going to get the lease money last year. And he kept writing a letter that was going to date starting, July 2025. And I kept saying, no, I need it for July 2024 because it was for the prior year. So I don't know if it was lost and there was some confusion on, we needed an extension for the year that was almost over. And then we also needed a new one. So I don't know if maybe that's where the confusion happened.
So Angie, do you have this one that I'm showing right now?
This one. You
I
guys
think this
look
is
at
the
the
one I sent
second
you.
paragraph,
I
David.
think you sent me this one.
Okay, because this is what it is. This is what we'll have for the year. And so again, board, I'm just gonna poke a couple of holes in this, okay? He said that he would have granted us a 5-year lease. However, I'm gonna read this first paragraph. Uh, I'm in receipt of your request from August 8th, 2025, notifying the Pueblo. So first off, note that we did request this on the 8th. We had to have this in, I think it was by the 15th or 14th, right, Angie?
Yes, the
Yeah.
15th.
And so he did note that this was completed by the 12th so that we could be in compliance and get this to the state on time. Notifying the Pueblo of the school's request to extend its school lease to a 1-year renewal lease with the Pueblo. The Pueblo can only issue a temporary 1-year lease extension until we finalize the Pueblo's Title XVI Tribal Leasing Code.
I
Once
think
the
that's
leasing code
14.
is com
Yeah, it's 14, yeah.
there
Title
you go,
14.
40. Once the leasing code is completed, then the Pueblo and the San Diego Riverside
16.
Charter School can enter into
That's
a 5-year lease agreement.
Mhm.
So this is where it's contradictory. He can say that he wants to grant us a 5-year lease all he wants, but according to his own code here, they cannot grant us a 5-year lease until the Pueblo finishes that title, that specific title for the leasing code.
Title 16, it says,
That's
yeah.
what he told me 2 years ago as well when I asked for a 2-year extension. He said there was some sort of tribal law where they could only extend it every year.
So this
And
kind of
that's not,
goes with
yeah,
this kind
this
of
is
goes
all
with
screwed up.
what I live my life by. You believe half of what you hear, nothing. Or sorry, believe half of what you see, nothing that you hear. He can run around and say that he wanted to grant us whatever, but he's contradicting himself. I love him. I'm not holding anything personal. But in his own letter, he's stating that he
Yeah.
couldn't, even if he really wanted to, he couldn't, based off of that code. That has to be approved by the governors.
And that code is, oh, I don't know when that came about, it might have been tribal council resolution or something, but David, I remember when Joseph Alfred Toya was the governor in 2009, I believe it was. He gave our school, like we give housing, I worked at housing, we give housing owners 25-year leases for their home when they're building a new home. That governor gave us a 25-year lease. And when I went a few years ago to the office and Yvonne Cheenan was still the records person, I asked her to give me a copy of that lease and she couldn't find it in the records anywhere. So somebody destroyed that resolution somewhere. So yeah, yeah, but
So
we added
going
25-year lease. Yeah.
So going off of this, it just says that they, confirm the receipt of this notice, that the extension term is from August 16th to August 15th, for this school year for the 4.57 acres, along with its rights to ownership to the modular buildings, which is interesting because it says, um, with the modifications of some particular stipulations regarding the Pueblo Hemis exercising its right to ownership of the modular building. So they're basically saying, and again, we don't need to contest this here. We just need to probably get a side meeting outside of there. Basically, what the letter is saying is that that even though the school purchased the buildings,
Yeah, we
the
gave them a
portable,
receipt that we bought that portable. And now, so since Kevin Chindo has this receipt that we bought that portable, he runs over and tells TJ to write it in the lease that looks like this. That's messed up.
they're basically saying that anything, and I heard this from Kevin Chendo's office too when I was working with them and talking about the ag program and the barn. They're basically in the mindset that anything that gets placed on that chunk of land, because the land is owned by the Pueblo, it automatically becomes ownership of the Pueblo.
No,
That's what he
especially
said. Like
since it's
he said, and then he goes and tells Joe Dan, that's how it goes around the Pueblo. Anybody that has something in the Pueblo on Pueblo lands is Pueblo owns it.
it
Well, I
can't because we're a public entity with the government of New Mexico, so New Mexico owns it, not
well, and
the
that's what I tried to tell one of his directors,
And
which
see, I'm
that
like
like,
is
it might
and
be
interesting
different
because
if someone just came and built something and it was like a private citizen, but the portable is owned by New Mexico Public
And
Education.
see right at the top where it says reference and it says receive notice, it says reference number, blah, 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 amendment, da, 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 lease of tribally owned land dated October 2023. That means that they keep changing their own regulations for tribally owned lease to us because look, that was just 2 years ago they changed it. It's not, there's no change. It's, David, tell them how it goes.
Usually what's in a lease, if you don't own the property and you are like, say, a charter school, you just say that you have to, but by like state laws, you have to give back the property in the same manner that you got it.
Condition, yeah.
So if we left that property, we would have to take the portable with us and then level out the ground. If there was any work done on the portable, say like plumbing, we would have to take it all out, level it out, and make it the same as it was before. We cannot, there's like some laws that we would get in big trouble for basically bettering that property and leaving it like that with state funds.
Yeah, David, go ahead, David.
It looks like, and it sounds like people have been talking among themselves without
Exactly.
Riverside's input or without Riverside's presence.
Yeah.
Right.
And even I see the governor's signature on there without even having a good meeting involving
With the
both
tribal
parties.
council, right? Did the tribal council know about this?
No.
See?
This letter hasn't been discussed. This topic has not gone before tribal council this year at all.
Yeah. I'm with you all. Like I said, this is kind of new. I'm just relaying the message. The thing is, do we pick this as a fight? Do we take this in now?
Yes.
Especially since we're using busing services and we're,
Okay.
I think
I get what you're saying. Busing is for food. That is not for the lease. The lease is not with the Department of Education. The lease is with the governors and the tribe. So that is totally out. The bus transportation has nothing to do with the governor's office.
no, but it's linked, and the only reason why I'm saying that is because if they're using our portable, which technically belongs to us, and they've kicked us out of that portable, this is going to start that fight with the Department of Education from the Pueblo. And so, this ultimately Shendo is going to be involved in this.
Well, I know Dave, okay, like there are governors in there, first governor, first lieutenant, secretary, but there's also the tribal council and everything that like David will tell you needs to be run past the tribal council. So the tribal council can even bring this stuff up, about like David could say in the tribal council meeting, hey, I saw a lease or something that's signed by the governor's office that's never even brought to us. Can someone explain that to me? Because they had to bring that up when Kevin Shendo started his immersion school. The tribal council didn't even know about it,
What is just weird to me. This is your in, to be honest with you. The way that it's stated here is, if the portables do belong to us, they don't have any, like they're taking advantage. They've literally taken full advantage of just basically coming in and saying, well, now that it's on our land, we do whatever we want. I mean, I was going to use the example and be kind of a jerk and say, well, gosh, I drove my car onto your property too. Does that mean that my car belongs to you? I mean,
that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
So yeah, no, Dave, and then to read the rest of this just real quick, the Pueblo of Jemez will utilize the South Modular buildings to house the Pueblo of Jemez Education Department Language Immersion School for the remainder of this extended lease. So they're basically saying that they're going to use that portable for the rest of the school year, whether we like it or not. It does say new negotiations will take place when the new lease is established. So, at least they're leaving the door open to basically say,
But
hey,
you
at the end
guys
of this
haven't
school year,
signed it, right? Like,
there's nothing to there
Ain't
was
nothing to
nothing
sign. This
to
is
sign.
them
So
dictating to us.
I don't see how it's binding if they just sign it, but you haven't agreed to it.
Yeah, well, I sent a letter, I sent to the governor's office and I said, hey, we need clarification on some paperwork. We're getting ready to sign the lease and we need some guidance. And they said, we're in a meeting right now. Can it wait? And I said, yes, it could wait till later today. And that was Thursday. So, and they didn't call me back. So this is what I want to directly ask, like you said, Matthew Gotchpan, because he's in charge of schools
Well,
and
I
students and all
think
that and
that's
all that.
I think
So,
that's the approach for right now, right? It's not that we go
right.
in there saying we want these people out. It's just basically
Yeah,
saying we need some clarification on some of these things here because like why would that make sense that the school purchases any more things and puts them there if they're gonna take it over?
exactly. Yeah,
Who's
but
And
they're not
who's in
on
the
permanent
payable now?
foundations. If we don't put something on a permanent foundation, then we can easily pick it up and carry it away when, like Andy
but
says, if we
Yeah.
move or
But I
something.
used that greenhouse as an example, and I told their director, she said we're gonna do this and this and this with it, and I said okay, we already had the plans, but I'm willing to work with you. She said, well, why would you put it that way? And I said, well, technically the greenhouse belongs to the school. She said, well,
Hmm.
technically anything that the school puts on that land belongs to the pueblo.
See, that's what
No.
she said, and that's where she's
No.
wrong.
That might be, yeah, I don't,
Yeah.
this might be a question to ask our lawyer,
Yeah,
Uh,
but
I think we'll start with the governors and take it to the lawyer and all that. But yeah, I think so because, like I said, their lawyer, the tribal lawyer, David Yepa, works for a giant native law firm, and he sent me a trespassing notice one time because I didn't get the lease signed in time. And he literally said I was when Rodorty was there that that our school was trespassing on their property. A school that's been there for 119 years, and he sends
yeah,
me a trespassing notice. So they pick and choose like what they want to do with us, but all of it is driven by the Department of Education, you guys. So
they
that's why
also
it's
have
hard.
not, from my knowledge, I believe what Margie had said was we give them money for the lease and then they give it back to the school as a donation, and I don't believe that's happened in quite a
Right,
while.
David, they'll think the last time it probably happened was David was governor in 2020, 2021, and
I was
he
gonna say,
knows that,
yeah.
yeah, it was 40, we were getting like 48, $50,000 a year. We ran it through they gave it to the governor's office. The finance department, the governor took out 3% and they gave us back the rest. And even when Peter Magdalena was lieutenant governor and all, he even said that, yeah, we do that because, or Dominic Gotchpin even said, we do that because we don't maintain that property. Like if the pipes break and all that, then we use the money. We have to call our TLC or our own plumber or native son or whatever. So that's what I was saying. We're calling TLC because the pipes are clogged. We should be calling the governor's office if we're not getting that money back. And they said, no, we give that money back to you because you have to do your own maintenance and maintain your own buildings over there.
As far as I've worked with San Diego Riverside with K-12, which has been 3 years, we have not received anything.
See, David, that's bad, huh? They
I
get
was
the
pretty
whole
shocked when you
48,000
asked
and
and
they
you
don't
said
give it
that they were
back to
giving it
us,
back.
then they need to come and maintain our buildings.
we
Clogs, toilet clogs, the heater, whatever, right?
Well, they
Why are we
should have
putting
paid for the
heaters in?
furnace
Yeah. Why are we spending
and the cooling and,
$19,000 for doors and heaters and stuff? 6,000 for doors, 10,000 for
exactly.
heaters. Yeah.
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 It's their building, it's not our building, so why are we spending that money? We could use it on our kids.
If
So
it was
that's the
if it was just a straight lease, they should be doing all that maintenance.
yeah, exactly.
Remember Margie, in the past, all the money that used to come in from the state, it kind of channeled through the tribe,
Yes.
then they would give the money back to charter school. Remember all
Ever
that?
since the charter school's been in existence, we always use the tribal office finance department as a place for the state to send a check to, but
Yeah.
they always gave it back to us. It started out as 1%, but as like Joshua Magdalena got in there, it went to 3%, like that. And Mario Romero was the one who took care of it, and then Margie King took care of it. We all
Yeah.
know that happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah.
it really sounds like those guys have been talking behind our backs over there. It really, really sounds like it. Because when we were in the meeting with Shendo, they were really, really nice. And that was just their way to kind of make some advancement towards Riverside.
Like get their foot in
So,
the door, so to speak. Yeah.
so we really need to look into it.
Yeah,
Alright.
we'll put this on an agenda item whenever we get to our retreat. We'll see what
Okay.
Diego and Teresa can help us out with, and additionally, we'll see if Dan Hill has some availability on that day to just kind of spend at least maybe an hour with us to discuss this matter and see what our options are.
Exactly, right,
Yeah.
okay.
Last couple things here just to be timely, down the road. So please keep an eye out on your Gmail. I know Jensen sent this out, I think in July. It's just your steps to go ahead and get into your Gmails that are issued already out to board members. I've asked him the last few weeks to reach out to you all, but I know he was kind of busy with some stuff. So he may start bugging you again starting Monday, possibly tomorrow. Just ensuring that you guys have the new Gmail accounts, because we want everybody to be connected, and it's a lot easier to share reports that way. And you're going to probably need that, especially for the finance committee, which I'll talk about here in a second. We need a plan for the 25-26 board retreat. I'll try to send an email out to everybody tomorrow to see what looks good. I'll work with Teresa to see what her availability is. The sooner the better. That's all I would say. The sooner the better. We don't want to drag this into November. I know I'm gonna be gone the first 2 weekends in October. I won't be around here. Yeah, I'll be completely unavailable those two first weekends in October. So just a heads up, like the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th, and then that following weekend of the 18th, I believe, I'll be out. Let's see here. Then you got to keep in mind your new board elections and nominations. We're gonna have to uphold ourselves to our bylaws, which was the 2 year commitment. So folks on the board, start thinking about who might serve as your chair, as your vice chair, as your secretary, and as your treasurer. And also with that, I think you still have room to bring in possibly at least one more board member, maybe two. I know one board member in particular is in violation of of the bylaws that were created even before I got there. Uh, the bylaws do state that there's a third. We'll review that if you want to look at it. But if a board member doesn't show or doesn't communicate within I think it's 3 meetings, they are automatically, like, that's your bylaws. We don't want to go in front of the PEC. I actually was talking with Missy Brown the other day, and she wants to make sure that we're doing everything according to what we tell them we're going to do, and we want to make sure that we can report to them that we're staying within what we promised them. But there is one board member that I don't know, Margie. I'll let you decide that with the board, that hasn't called and it has to be ample time. It can't be after the board meeting, right? But that one individual has not shown up for the 3 board meeting. I would say automatically going into next month, you should probably vote that individual out. Now, if she wants to come back, that's up to you to do that, but we don't want to be in violation of our own bylaws. That's all I'm going to say.
That would
And I
also
already,
be an audit finding when we can't get
Huge.
people to show up.
Yeah,
Like if
huge
they,
audit finding. Because
yeah,
they're gonna review all of our
well,
minutes.
they see who's present, who's not present at every
They do.
meeting, right, yeah.
They do, and
yes, they do.
they called us out on a May and June meeting that they didn't think we had posted, but it was a mix up with
Yes.
our website. So I provided everything and we've got everything clear. But Dr. Russell and Missy Brown are definitely keeping an eye on the things that we're doing as well.
Okay.
Within the committees, think about this. The committees that we should definitely have: finance and audit committee. You can have a governance committee if you don't need to, but the requirements is, but the bare requirements, right, Angie, are finance and audit committee.
Yes. So,
Yes.
you can, I have had a school before that just votes that the whole governance council is the finance committee. If you don't want to have a finance committee beforehand, and then everyone
Okay.
reviews it and we do it,
I
because that's
think
kind of what
that's a
we're
good
doing
idea.
now.
I think that's a great idea.
But the audit committee, we do need a parent volunteer and we do need a community member. And then 2 board members, not any more than 2, or else you risk having a quorum. Usually it's the president or the treasurer or both. And then but two governance council members.
So
I think
whoever our new
Margie's,
chair, and I actually need this pretty fairly quickly because I have to submit this through Epicenter.
okay,
This is one of the requirements. So Margie, I may be
for
bugging
the
you
audit
Friday
too.
or Yeah, I might be bugging you Friday or Monday to see who we can initiate. I mean, we have an audit committee, but we need to prove that you're meeting regularly, at least once a month, right, Angie? It's the once a month.
During the audit, once a month. After the audit is complete,
It's once a
quarterly.
quarter, once a quarter, yeah, okay.
But when the audit is ongoing, which is ongoing now, it should be monthly.
Yeah.
So usually
So
monthly between like when we start in July till we end in October-ish usually. And then, but of course, so like the entrance and the exit audit count as a meeting for them. So, and those will usually, an entrance audit will usually be in July. You can count that as your meeting. And you can count the exit audit like in October as your meeting in that one. So it's just kind of like August and September.
yeah. So I'll
Yeah.
lean on you to find us the parent and community member, and we need to list them as soon as possible. And maybe I think what would be sufficient enough is just to come up with a general calendar for right now and list out that the intended meetings are 30 minutes before each board meeting. Even if we have to move those, just to show them that we have a calendar and that those are the expected dates and times that the committees are going to be meeting, or that specific committees.
And really the meeting might be 10 minutes long if there's not a lot to discuss. Just, yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's my
We
report
would
for the
need a
evening.
name, phone number, email. They want name, phone number, email address, and then for the people that are not on the board, so the community member and the parent volunteer, just like a couple of sentences on how they are qualified financially. So if it's a stay-at-home mom that does the finances for her family, that would be enough, saying, look, I do the budget for my family. A community member that, if you get a community member that's a banker or has dealt with anything in finance, they just write a couple sentences about that.
Yeah, we got David's wife one year. She was the finance director for the Pueblo and she was on for a while. But
Yeah, if we could get her again, she could be the community member.
mhm.
All right,
We'll
so
see.
that's what I have for my report. I appreciate the support and the good vibes. I'm glad that we've got some good things coming for our kiddos in the community.
We'll
And
see
I
50.
couldn't do it without
Can you guys
the support.
see, this is a flyer that Joe Dan and Jensen made, and that's gonna go into everyone's mailbox. But it's pretty cool because it just says Sandy Riverside registering now, high academics, after school programs, sports, transportation, extracurricular activities. Come join our school and become part of the great Mustang community. And then if you have any visit our website, or if you have any questions, call our office, like that. So you think that will be good for everybody, for every mailbox in the valley, you guys?
That looks really nice.
Another thing is too is that Joe Dan makes if you guys, is it Facebook that you put it out, or on our website? Our
Uh,
website that you
yeah,
put
no,
your film?
I post on Facebook. So we have Facebook where we just highlighted. If you get on, I can see if I can get on and see the video real quick.
He puts a little like every couple, he's already did two since the beginning of the school year, about what's going on at our school. And guess who I got an email from, or text message from? Clifford Thompson, the old principal.
Oh,
He
you
said,
did?
"Wow, Margie, congratulations! Looks like you got a real winner there. I saw the post or the film that your new principal is doing. He's a real go-getter like that." I'm like, I just put,
Oh,
thanks, Mr. Thompson. Like you did us any favors, or whatever. Anyway, look, like just show him like right this here. I
Can
saw
you
this one.
all can you all see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
our
wow.
Facebook. We also have a Sandy Cedar balloon glow that we just got before we left to the an invite that they're going to be doing an event there, and so we're pushing the word out. But this is the recent video that we posted on Monday, and so we were highlighting our cross country athletes. What's up, everyone? I'm here with Coach Luis Alvarado and some of our awesome Mustang athletes. We just finished our first cross-country meet, and Coach, how did it go? Went well. We ran at a 1 3/4 course here at Emmett Valley Public Schools. The girls went first, and the boys finished it off very well. I'm very proud of them, and hopefully we can build on this. Awesome, awesome. I know we're in for a great season this year. Hey, Micah, what's some of your goals for this year, man?
Some of my goals that I want to accomplish for this season is I want to keep a good pace, not throw up, and at least get top 50 and beat my previous time.
Awesome, awesome. And Paisley, what are some of your goals for this season?
My goals are to become faster, to beat my previous times, and to get top 50 in the next season.
Awesome. Leanna, how about you? What are some of your goals?
For this season, to come to top 50 and get faster.
Awesome. Well, we are in, like I said, for an amazing season. We've got another one coming up here pretty quick. Coach, can you tell us about that next week?
Yeah, that will be in 2 weeks at the Rio Rancho Jamboree at Rio Rancho High School on September 20th at 11.
Awesome. We're looking forward to that. That is a huge meet, just in case you don't know. And we hope you can come out and show your love, give us your support. As always, go Mustangs.
So he puts those on their Facebook. There was a welcome one too. And it's just really it's really good if we could get that. I mean, people out there to see that too. If Clifford Thompson can see it, our tribe should be able to see it. And our governors need to see that, you know.
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate the support. Yeah, and I'll be making those videos at least twice a month and highlighting different things. And then we also have the robocalls that are going out now. I was putting my voice on them, but it was a lot easier to type them up. So some will have my voice, some will be typed up, and kind of go through the robocall. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but yeah. Anyways, I'll turn it back to you all for announcements.
Okay, next item on the agenda here is the announcements, which the announcement is the next meeting is scheduled for October the 9th, which is Thursday night at 6 p.m. and then meeting adjournment. So I just need a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting unless anybody has anything else on Mr. Leva or Joe Dan's report. So, I forgot to say that. Okay, so I just need a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting, and then if everybody agrees, we'll adjourn the meeting. It's now 7:59 p.m.
This is Patrick. I
I'll
make a
make
motion.
one.
Patrick made a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:59 p.m. Do I have a second?
A second.
Susan second. So I'll see. David, do you agree?
I agree.
Patrick, do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Susan, do you agree?
Yes.
And this is Margie. I agree. Thank you all for coming. Meeting adjourned. Thank you guys very much.
Thank
Good
y'all
meeting.
so
Thank
much.
you,
Have a
everybody.
great evening.
Jody,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you.